Kyle, thanks for doing this with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We had a brief chance to chat with Kyle last night. He was telling me a little bit about how you're going to get into a little bit of competition golf. You're not stopping long drive, so no one needs to worry about that. But you want to get into competitive golf. A little bit of an implication for your clubs. We've got a different driver than you've been playing for long drive, obviously. So we're going to spend some time, briefly take us through your bag, and then obviously hit some drivers. And Jose's here. Would love to hear kind of your thoughts on what it's like to build a driver for somebody like Kyle. Obviously not your typical fit.
Not even close.
Yeah, and long drive is obviously, you know, a different animal than playing tour golf. We can talk about how those two drivers are performing and go from there.
Awesome.
What do you got there to start with, Kyle?
So this is 54. You know, this is one of 4 wedges. I have a couple different types of sets. So I have a 62, 58, 54. And then 48, and there's another options of 60, 56, 52, 48. And I have a pitching wedge, like an iron type wedge, stamped with the P. That's 44 degrees. I like to try to have my lob variation be about 4 degrees, roughly.
So for someone that hits it so far, I would imagine the shorter end of the bag, you prefer to have a couple more wedges, and then the long end of the bag. I know you've got this 1 iron here, which you hit a couple with.
That's the great thing about distance is that it kind of allows me to backload my bag. You know, I can kind of take the wedges instead of the longer clubs. So that's kind of
swing.
Yeah,
that's the 54 there.
Yeah, I mean, my big thing with the wedges, I have to always remind myself to be very smooth and very relaxed with the swing, because if you know, obviously I'm kind of more prone to being fast. So
of course.
I have to really remind myself to have a really smooth kind of flowing motion.
And what yardage do you like to hit that 54 from generally?
You know, it depends on conditions and stuff. I would say between about 90 to 120 yards, I'm looking at my 54. I never, ever hit full wedges, ever.
Yeah.
The only time I would consider it is if I'm out of the rough and I really need to stop it.
Good strike.
What's great to hear is the compression of the golf ball with the 54 degrees. Kyle, hit one full and show everybody what happens when you do that.
This might be the first time I've ever hit this wedge full.
Okay.
We'll see.
Just for Jose.
We won't judge you. We just want to give the crowd an idea of what we've seen when you've gone full.
That's a ball.
So, I mean, it looks cool, but try playing that with anything more than a 2-mile-an-hour wind.
Yeah.
So what yardage do you like on your 8-iron generally?
Typically, it's about a 190 club.
Yep.
I don't like it going much further than that.
But
I have to, again, really check myself.
Yeah.
I used to hit it about 205 to 210 last year and the year before.
Right.
But that was kind of with a much fuller swing that really wasn't good for the ball flight.
Yeah.
So I haven't shortened it. I've just kind of swung a little slower and a little more in control. And swing speed's probably going to be about 110.
Okay, let's see it.
In this wind, this will probably go 185 is my guess.
Sick.
I love how all those ball flights are very similar, right? It's just getting longer.
Really nice sound coming off that. So with your irons, talk to me. Have you used this X7 kind of most of your playing career? When you get on
I even used it in college.
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, in college, I went from when I started playing for University of North Texas, I was already swinging about 125 to 127 as a freshman, and then I started lifting weights.
Yep.
And by sophomore year, I was swinging about 135, 136. In that neighborhood, and so obviously I needed the stiffest stuff I could find, and so my coach suggested, you know, these, and they've been pretty good.
Those are the stiffest as they come, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Really nice
rebar.
That's so nice. And talk to me just off camera. You mentioned the grips. So obviously at your swing speed, the amount of grip pressure you need to kind of hang on to the club and produce that speed, this is a grip you prefer. Yeah, you're putting a lot of torque on that. So have you used those for quite some time? This is the Tour Rep. These is 2Gs here? Yeah.
What I like a lot about these is that they're mid-size, and that's a big deviation from my long drive stuff. So my long drive grip is actually the smallest grip I can get.
Oh, really?
Well, because I find, and this is totally feel, I don't know if this has actually been proven, but it'd be very interesting to have a study done on this somehow. I believe that the thicker the grip is, the less wrist roll there is.
No, you're
but
onto it.
I actually want wrist roll and long drive.
For speed.
So I'm trying to unload these wrists as hard as I can.
Okay.
And I literally don't care if I hit a 150-yard snap hook, as long as the next one is 400 up the right center of the grid. But obviously in golf, I care a lot about that.
Definitely. It sounds so good.
Yeah, that's compressing a golf ball, isn't it, buddy?
That is compressing a golf ball beyond belief. So 6-iron, 225?
Just about. We'll see how far it goes, you know, in this wind. But to be honest, my longer irons, I have a slightly less firm handle on my distances than I would like. I would say it goes probably 225 to 235, that neighborhood. You know, and obviously I'm not trying to really hit it that hard.
Yeah, keeping the same tempo and sort of the approach as you do with the wedges.
Yep.
We're gonna have to do a nice little update on
Gorgeous.
what was the line goal.
Absolutely. Well, I think people will be
Difference.
really interested, and we talked off camera, Kyle, like people love that on our channel, the details of it, the subtleties, and when someone like you notices, okay, I've got this 8-iron, obviously no one's swinging as fast as Kyle is,
Right.
but you got to get your lies checked because it's going to affect your ball flight if you don't.
Absolutely. Everything changes with speed.
Absolutely.
And think about it. You got the fastest golfer in the world, longest hitter, right?
is the guy.
World long drive champion. And look at the tempo you see here. There's a lot to learn about how Kyle approaches the game when he's actually going to play golf. Everything's under control. He's very balanced,
So
right?
balanced.
So I think there's a lot to see here. And I'm really impressed because I've seen Kyle hit a bunch of times.
Yeah.
And you can tell he's putting on, I'm going to play hat.
Yes.
Because you're even from the summer when we had the sales meeting, your swing has gotten even more smoother than from when it was in August.
So this is a King Tech 1-iron
Yeah.
loft on that.
11 or so, something like that.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
It's not a lot of loft.
Well,
It's actually a 3D printed prototype.
That is amazing. Okay, that's sick.
So that's pretty much
That
my
is
driver.
absolutely ripped.
Jeez, that is something else. Oh, that was even faster. Ventus black in there.
Oh yeah.
That's something you've used for quite some time?
About a year and a
10TX, the big
half.
boy?
Thing's an absolute rocket, 10TX.
Yeah.
10TX.
So it's pretty strong.
And he still makes it bend. You seeing that?
I
When he
can
loads
tell.
it?
I can tell. Swing, Kyle. That is so sick.
Love that.
Oh,
My goodness.
Good to see these going straight. I spent probably 3 hours yesterday working on this.
well, I think it paid
we
off.
spent a lot of time yesterday.
I think it paid off. That's awesome.
A little low in the face, but it's still going plenty.
So
far.
this club for you, I mean, that's going to be a weapon. You're
Oh,
playing
yeah.
some events. I mean, you can probably blast that past most guys you compete with their driver. You're going to be hitting that past their
Well,
driver.
and the good
With
thing
a
is
lot
it's
of
going pretty
accuracy.
straight too.
Yeah, with a lot of accuracy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
Right.
more accuracy than just about any ball I've seen hit today. It's like all up the pipe. So let's chat really briefly about
Yeah.
this. So Kyle, you've obviously, all your drivers for the most part, they're built for long drive. Mm-hmm. Shorter, first and foremost, by about 3 inches.
Roughly, yeah, 45 and a half.
Loft-wise, I see a 5.5 stamp there.
Yeah, I mean, we're probably going to be messing around with this. It'll be somewhere between 5 and 6 degrees, maybe
Gotcha.
even 4.5. I actually want it to be a little spinnier. We could make this go further if we
Yeah.
wanted to, but the reason I've chosen to have a bit of a higher loft, I want a more stable spin axis so I
course.
get more accuracy.
Yeah.
I could easily hit this 20 yards further if I had it at 4 degrees at my speed. But
So 4 degrees is what you use for long drive.
more or
Yeah.
less, yeah.
Yeah.
So between 1 and 6 degrees, depends on wind. But the problem is when you have a lower lofted head, the spin axis there's not as much spin loft.
Yeah.
And spin loft is what makes a ball has a stable ball flight.
Yes.
So, when you don't, I would much rather hit it much straighter, even if I lose 10, 12, 15 yards.
For sure.
And you have a few yards to share. Like, you can definitely
He
spare
can
a few,
give
can't
up
he?
a couple yards.
Yeah, so I mean, I need to be able to use it, and
Absolutely.
obviously the straighter I can hit it, more holes I'll be able to reliably use it on.
This is the prototype head that we
Okay.
developed for Kyle. It is 5.5 degrees, thereabouts.
Mm-hmm.
And we're working with them. Like this week, we're giving him 25 heads to work with.
Gotcha.
Right? And we're continuing to dial them in.
Right.
And it looks just like,
It does.
it has the same technologies on the inside. We don't make the faces any thicker, right? Because these guys want to see their smash factors up.
Okay.
They want to keep their ball
That's a
speeds
question many
up.
people have is this a different design?
When the head fails because of his speeds, it just fails.
Gotcha.
And that's what
It happens.
that's what we talk about with the guys.
Right.
That's what they want. First of all, did you notice how high he teed that
I
up?
did. So talk to me about the tee height. Is that about what you do with long drive? Is that a bit lower?
So I'll put them right next. I'll put them side by side
Yeah,
so you guys
please.
can see. So this is long drive tee height,
So as high as you can get
It's
that.
just the
Absolutely.
tip, barely.
and this
touching the-
is about what I would tee it up for golf. So I mean, it's
Okay.
a noticeable
It's close.
difference, but it's not
It's
substantial.
not
crazy.
substantial. Yeah.
Yep.
But I'm I don't try to change who I am.
Yeah.
I'm a speed guy, and speed and distance is all about hitting up on it with a lot of firing to the hips and attack angle being up, and I just roll with that, and teeing it up as high as that allows me to hit up on it up to 15 degrees if I need to.
Swing, Kyle. That was a gorgeous flight. I mean,
Wow.
it's not
It's
going
fairly
overly high.
standard.
Like, that's flighted really nice. That's
Wow.
nice.
That's still a play speed though. I'm just putting a little more
What do you feel in terms of like effort level when you swing those? Are you kind of in the 70% range versus long drive?
I would say it's not that low. It's probably like 80, 90.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm definitely giving it what I got, but it's a completely different swing.
Gotcha. So really cool to see you kind of make some swings, obviously making a transition. As we said at the beginning, you're still going to do long drive.
Yeah.
Not too many guys can do both at once, and it's really cool to see like your kind of tour on golf course swing. It looks great. Like your irons were super accurate. I think those 1-irons are on a blanket out there somewhere.
Yeah,
really tight dispersion.
And I'm very aware of the fact it's a long road and there's a
Yeah.
big learning curve. I'm not afraid to have rough tournaments because as long as by the end of it I'm playing well, you know, no one's really going to care about playing bad if I start playing well.
You just want to get the experience, get
Yeah.
comfortable in that environment. It's a different
process,
environment, right?
you know, and I'm not
Very
afraid to struggle because I think it's important to struggle. That's where you learn the lessons you need to ultimately succeed.
different environment. Absolutely.
You know, I'd rather do it and fail than not do it at all. You know, that's the biggest thing I can
a great
stress.
attitude.
Well said, yeah.
Yeah.
You
Absolutely.
know, so I'm not afraid of failure, and I'm certainly not afraid of success.
It's a great attitude.
So
Last but not least, last year obviously and the year before was Speed Zone. I think so far we've heard from everyone we talked to, they're really enjoying this. How much better do you feel this is than kind of what you've used in the last couple of years?
it's yeah, well, it's so much better that it's actually the biggest reason I'm actually going to try pro golf this year.
That's a big deal.
So I mean, that's literally probably the best way I can say it.
Yeah, so
Like,
you found it really comfortable and you can see yourself playing with it in tournament golf.
that's I could see myself using it 2 to 3 times around, which is huge.
Really cool.
I've like that for me to say that is significant because at the speed I swing it,
Yeah, you're
You
hitting
really have to
your
be-
1-iron, you're hitting a 340, so I can see
it's very hard to have an incentive to hit driver if you're hitting the 1-iron, you know, that
Yeah,
straight with
on a rope.
330, 320 yards. I mean,
Yeah.
it's hard to find a reason, but
Totally.
if the driver is as locked in as this one is, it gives me even more of an advantage because every time I hit it in the fairway at that distance, 380, 390, it's almost an immediate quarter to a third stroke gained.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. It would
You
be,
know,
wouldn't it?
like at will.
Stroking off the tee is going to be massive for
Yeah.
him,
So
even with an iron.
The stats guys will have a good time analyzing
Yeah.
his strokes gained out there with 50, 60
I think
yards.
I'll put it this way: my game will be the most polarizing game in history at the start of this journey.
Right.
But it'll be I think it'll be entertaining to watch.
We're all going to enjoy watching
Yeah,
it. I know
sure,
that.
sure.
Yeah.
I'm predicting lots of eagles and lots of double bogeys, and hopefully we'll drop those down as we go. But I think it'll be my game's always had a lot of fireworks in it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
so
fun to watch, man. Really fun
That's
to watch.
that's what matters.
Yeah,
you know, it's all
absolutely.
about fun and entertainment.
Okay, well, thanks a lot for doing this
Yeah,
with us. I
absolutely.
think people are really going to enjoy it. And Jose, thank you, my friend, as always.
Always a pleasure to be around.